I've had my heart set on running a sub 20-minute 5K for a long time, but along the way I've come face to face with a few more hurdles than I would have liked. The best way I can describe it is that it's like the finish line is on top of a hill and the road towards it just keeps getting longer and longer. But enough's enough. I'm more determined than ever to get to the top of that hill and achieve my goal, and you're going to come along with me.
But not just yet, that's all to come. Okay, so my training for this 5K challenge is based off of 3 pillars. Firstly, the long run, which is a staple to help me build endurance and to get used to running on tired legs. Secondly, speed workouts, super important to help me unlock faster speeds. And then thirdly, gym workouts. I am determined to keep up with strength and conditioning in order to avoid picking up any injuries during this block. And then the thing that ties all of this together is mental resilience, which I will come on to a little bit later on. So this is the first of 3 videos where we're going to follow my training journey, training towards this sub 20-minute 5K. I will take you through the ups and the many downs of this journey, all focused towards my end goal. I think it's important to mention at this point too that no training plan goes perfectly. In fact, I don't think the perfect build-up exists. And that is the same for whether you're training for a 5K2, half marathon, marathon, or whether you're just starting out in your running journey. So don't worry if little problems happen. It's how you adapt that's the important thing. So today's workout is a bit of a kind of pace tempo long run. So I've got 2K at a conversational pace, then 4K at 5:05 per kilometre, then another 4K at 4:40 per kilometre, a bit scary, and then 2K conversational pace just to cool down again. So I'm looking forward to this one. These sessions always make me feel really confident afterwards. So let's see if I can actually do it. It feels really nice to be 5K training. It is the distance that I started with and the distance that I actually spent a long time working on when I first started running. I was just obsessed with getting my 5K time down. Sub 25 minutes was a huge goal, and it took me kind of 2 or 3 years to get there. And I would just turn up to my local park run every single week and absolutely hammer it. And try and get my time to under 25 minutes. And I remember the feeling of breaking 25 for the first time and having a little thought in my head of, wow, I wonder if one day I could go under 20 minutes. And then I've kind of just let that thought go, mainly because I just didn't think I was that runner. It's always been the biggest goal on my list, but it's been the one that I've been the most scared of attempting because I didn't think I was capable of doing it. Whereas now, I'm feeling pretty confident. I'm still unsure, and I feel like I still might have a bit of a identity crisis if I do actually manage to hit that time. But it feels very exciting to be able to attempt the paces and just to give it a go. That's what I enjoyed about running in the first place, is just turning up, having a go, and enjoying the process. And I am loving this training block so far.
A large part of my training has been speed work because ultimately my aim is to get faster, but long runs are a staple of any form of training, and I've been using them to rediscover my mojo and get me back into the swing of things when I've been hit with an injury or a dip in motivation.
Okay, so let's go through a little bit of a recap of my training journey so far. So my last, I guess, big race was London Marathon 2024 in April. After that, I had a relatively tough day out, still managed to get a PB, but really struggled on race day and developed a little bit of a fear of racing. And then I also afterwards picked up an Achilles injury. So from kind of April to September 2024, I was pretty injured, wasn't really training for anything, and was kind of just building back a little bit. Then in September 2024, I went out to Berlin to watch Jess absolutely smash her marathon goal. And whilst we were out there over the weekend, I went and did an interval session with Owen and Tito from the running channel as well. And that is the first time where I kind of said the goal out loud and actually meant it. We did an interval session where the last rep we did at 4-minute K pace, and it felt so hard, and I don't think we hit the pace at all. But at the end of it, I felt excited to try and give it a go again, and that is really where I felt that kind of spark start and thought, okay, let's give this a go. A month later, in October, I did a time trial, which is where I really learned just how fearful of races I had got. I was only going to Battersea Park Run and I just procrastinated it all morning, ended up turning up late, had to do it as a time trial instead, managed to come away with a time that I was really proud of, around 21:15, but that showed me that I had a little bit of a way to go in order to get the time that I wanted, and so the training really started. November, a huge wake-up call that I had not done enough strength and conditioning and rehab on my Achilles. I went from kind of doing easy mileage of about 30k a week to then jumping up to doing about 40 kilometers a week, but with some really hard, grueling sessions. And my Achilles basically just said no. On a long run, which was really gutting, had to hop on a bike and cycle all the way back home. But it was at that moment that I kind of had purpose for why I wanted to get better. I think previously when I'd been to go see a physio, I'd kind of half-heartedly done the exercises, but now I knew I had a goal that I wanted to do, and so I was in the gym every other day doing my exercises properly, and I instantly noticed a massive difference. I could feel myself getting better, and I really started to enjoy my runs and see purpose with going to the gym too. So whilst I was rehabbing my Achilles, that kind of put a stop to all of the speed work, and instead I just focused on building up distance whilst running at a nice easy pace. The other thing that was keeping me going was knowing that I had the option, if I could, to pace one of our subscribers, Jonah, to his first half marathon in Malaga, and I was desperate to be able to do that. So that kept me in the gym working hard, that kept me building up my mileage, and in December I got to run his half marathon with him, and it was such a cool experience. There is nothing like pacing someone else to a first or a PB or just to any race really, and that definitely as well got me over my fear of racing, because it just showed me how epic it is to go out, do something, enjoy it, achieve it, and come away with a pretty cool medal too. Coming into January, I knew I had the distance in my legs, but what I didn't have was the speed. So I kind of went off book a little bit and did my own training session in order to give me the confidence to kind of show that I could actually do it. So I did my own series of time trials at 4-minute kilometre pace in order to prove to myself that I could actually do it. The best one of those was in January. I did a 1k warm up on the treadmill, then 3 kilometres at 4-minute K pace, and then a 1k cool down. I knew that I had it in me on a treadmill. It was a whole different story when I went out to do the same session outside, but it really gave me the confidence and spurred me on to prove that I'm back. I'd rehabbed my injury and it was okay. I had the speed in my legs. I just needed a bit more training in order to nail that final 2 kilometres and get what I want, which is a sub 20-minute 5k. And speaking of speed, it is now time to go into 4 kilometres at 4:40. So let's do it.
Now, it might seem a bit odd why I'm telling you all of this in a video about me training for a sub 20-minute 5k, but this is the reality of running. You're gonna have ups and you're definitely gonna have downs too. I know I've got the miles in my legs, I know I have the speed, and now I'm working on combining the two whilst being injury-free. And a lot of that is in my head and actually believing that I can do it, which is exactly what I was trying to do here to believe I could hit 4 kilometres at 4:40 per kilometre pace.
Whew. Okay. That is the fast bit done. That wasn't actually as bad as I thought it was going to be. I've now got 2k conversational pace to cool down. I don't know if you can tell there, but I was properly bricking that bit. And usually in a training block, if I am scared of any parts, I will usually just bottle it up. But actually what I've learned is that it's so important to just talk about an element of training if you are scared of it. And that is where the Running Channel Club has been so useful during this training block. If you don't know, we have the club and it is filled with loads of amazing runners, all training for different goals, but you're grouped together if you're training for a similar goal, and you can kind of share updates. A few weeks ago, I had an interval session, which I had procrastinated all day, and I popped in the club that I didn't want to go out and do it. And I got so many messages of support a lot of messages as well saying, come on Sarah, just go out and do it. It can't be as bad as you think it is. And I went out and nailed it, and it went really well. And I was really chuffed, and I came back and posted that update, and it just made the whole experience even better, because a problem shared really is a problem halved, and the running community is so good at building each other up. But more on that a little bit later. I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but one thing that I can safely say is that throughout this entire training block, I have actually become best friends with the gym, and that is exactly where we're going now. Right, I'm in the gym. I can't say this is where I feel the most comfortable or confident, but a big thing throughout this entire 5K training block has been trying to show up in the gym a little bit more, not only because my physio has told me that I need to in order to rehab my injury, but also because I know getting stronger is going to be the thing that helps me to get faster.
When I injured my Achilles, getting in the gym and getting stronger was the best thing that I could do, and it was exactly what my physio prescribed. My biggest tip, if you are struggling with any niggles or injury, would be go and speak to a medical professional, because you would be surprised how much quicker the process of recovery is when you're doing the right targeted, tailored exercises. So for me, that was calf raises. Here you can see I'm using a safety bar in order to do calf raises on the squat rack. Sometimes I didn't have access to this type of bar, so I've also done calf raises on the leg press. I've done it on the Smith machine as well. I've also done weighted calf raises with dumbbells. The key for me was putting a lot of load on, so that is why I was often using the leg press or using a squat rack in order to get a lot of weight going through my Achilles in order to strengthen it and get back to running and running fast.
Right, now I feel like it's important to mention at this point that we've obviously hired this lovely empty gym space in order to film this video. Usually I'd be working out in quite a busy gym, or I might even do workouts at home. You can do strength workouts anywhere, and it's so important to put into your routine. So I do lots of different movements, but the best thing that I've learned is to have a structure, in the same way that I will go and do a workout and I know when my run starts and my run ends. I find it really important to know the same with my gym exercises as well. So I have my physio set of exercises. I also do a lot of running specific exercises. So box jumps, much scarier on a wooden box than it is on a nice soft padded box. But equally, I also like using boxes to do a lot of single leg exercises as well. Ones like this, where you might just be doing little drops, or also squatting all the way down as well, which is very good to help you identify any weaknesses that you might have if you are doing single leg exercises. Kind of just have a play with it. And you're not supposed to be perfect at any of these exercises. The point is coming to the gym and trying to improve. And ultimately, as a runner, I come to the gym in order to run better.
One thing that really surprised me when I came back to speed sessions after being injured was actually how much fitness I hadn't lost. And I think a large part of that was down to the fact that I'd got a lot stronger. I had really neglected strength and conditioning over the last few years. So actually being in the gym and being consistent with it made gaining speed feel so much easier than I thought it was going to be. And I think a lot of that is down to doing single leg exercises. So when you're running, you're using one leg at a time. And so exercises like split squats, lunges, single leg deadlifts, really useful, as well as explosive exercises like box jumps, and then also squats as well, like the goblet squat I'm doing here.
So as well as focusing on a lot of leg stuff, I also actually quite like doing a full body workout, specifically focusing on my upper body as well. Now, arms is quite often something that we forget as runners, but actually if you're able to drive your arms a little bit quicker, that might help your legs to turn over a little bit quicker as well. So hopefully that will help with a bit of speed come race day. But also actually it really motivates me to get into the gym because I quite enjoy the arm exercises. One, I've been doing a lot and that I've built up the weights. When I first went to the gym, I was using about 6 kilograms. Now I've built up to 12, and the weights that they have here are 12 and a half. So I want to see if I can level up today. Don't ask me what it's called, and I'm not a gym instructor, but let's see if I can do it. Oh yeah, just. Okay, now speed this up and just repeat it, and it'll look like I've done loads. No. Hopefully this has inspired you to take on a gym workout. I think the main thing that I've learned is to just have a little bit more fun with it. So if you are putting off the gym, let me know in the comments why. And if you love the gym, go and tell people down in the comments why they should give it a go. For me, I think I've realized that the main reason I want to go to the gym is to be able to do more pull-ups than Andy. Now he can do 0. So if I can do 1, I'm winning. One day it will be a lot more seamless than this. Ooh. Right, okay. Everybody breathe. 1, okay, right, let's get back to running. Okay, so now I have said my goal out loud and I have told you, which is incredibly scary, but I'm feeling so motivated and excited. The race is booked for March, so there is no backing out now. And the main thing that I'm trying to focus on now is I did a 3K time trial outside and I managed to average a pace of 4:01 per kilometre. So that would be too slow on race day. However, I think I built that up so much that by the end of it, I kind of felt like I'd achieved my goal. So now I'm really focusing on no, I need a little bit more speed and a little bit more endurance in order to nail those last 2 kilometres and sneak under 20 minutes. Also, if you want to hear more updates about how my sub 20 training is going, get daily updates, hear my pep talks, or just hear a little bit more information, then I'm going to be sharing all of it over on the Running Channel Club. So please do come and join. I'm going to share what sessions I'm doing, how I'm feeling after each one. So if you're training for the same goal or similar, hopefully there's something in there to help you too, as well as you can share your training too. This whole challenge is fueled by taking on something that's scary, and that is where the Running Channel Club and the Running Channel community is so great at building each other up. In the next episode of this series, I'm going to be going through what workouts I'm using to help me break 20 minutes for 5K. But if you want to see more 5K content, then go and check out when Tom took on a 30-day challenge to see how much he could shave off of his 5K time. He's behind the camera right now.